Hi, I'm Andy, and I'm the band leader of Repplica, the Led Zeppelin tribute band in Auckland, New Zealand. So I thought I'd do a video today on this guitar here, my Les Paul, and I'd do a video on the journey that I've been on with my dad, who's helped me heaps, modifying the guitar to try and make it sound more Jimmy Page-esque, or to at least be in the same vein in terms of how he approaches playing guitar and how he approaches the guitar sounding. So I guess I'll start with what this guitar is and kind of what it was. So what it is, this is a 1990 Les Paul Standard, 1990 Gibson Les Paul Standard. This used to belong to a guitarist called Dixon Lacey, Auckland-based guitarist, amazing guitar player. He used to be my guitar teacher. Awesome teacher, just phenomenal guitar player, energy for days, super generous, Thanks for this guitar, Dixon. Thank you for selling this to me. So this guitar means a lot to me, for lots of those reasons that I just sort of pointed out there. So the stock pickups that were in this 1990 period Les Pauls, they were sort of this weird in-between sound between sort of modern and old. I think they called them 490Rs, which was the neck pickup. Just took my volume off. And then they had these 498R or Ts in the bridge. And if you want to summon Jimmy Page, they're really not a good start because they're not very responsive to dynamics. And so because Jimmy Page is so reliant on using dynamics to control his guitar but also produce the sounds and songs that he plays, it's kind of crucial. So the first thing that we did when we modified this guitar was we changed the pickups. So into the neck position, a Seymour Duncan 59 humbucker pickup went in, and that sort of approximates a 59 Les Paul pickup, which is the famous PAF pickup. So if you were to describe what a PAF or 59 Les Paul pickup kind of sounds like, then it's kind of like a humbucker, but it's really airy and it's quite light, and it cleans up really well. It's really responsive to dynamics. Sort of all the things that you don't necessarily think of when you think of modern pickups, depending on lots of things, of course, but maybe not a Les Paul anyway. I'll give you a demonstration of what this pickup sounds like. So that's with the volume halfway up, basically. So you can hear it's quite clear. Now if I go full force, you can hear that it dirties up really well. So it has this great volume dynamic response. So it's a great pickup. Cool. So okay, over to the bridge now. So for the bridge pickup here, we've got the Seymour Duncan SH11 custom hybrid, they call it, 59 custom hybrid. So I guess the concept is that they go together. This is a lot high output. So this one was 7 ohms, so quite low. This one here is around 11, and so it's 11 volume. So it it gives you that little kick over the hill. So really quite punchy, quite bright, and again, very dynamically responsive. So you get the idea. So it's really responsive. feedback today. Oh well, it's pretty loud by the way, because it's gotta be, because it's rock and roll, right? So that's the two pickups. So the next thing that happened was that, okay, I've done the pickups. How else can I buy my way into becoming Jimmy Page, right? So we put in these push-pulls. So it's got 4 push-pulls. Look at that. Woohoo! And each one does a different thing. So if I go to my neck pickup here, make sure the volume's on. If I pull it out, it goes into single coil mode. So technically I should sound like a Stratocaster now, right? What's a Stratocaster? Now, of course, it doesn't sound like a Stratocaster at all, but it gives you kind of like a cool single coil option if you wanted it. So that's what's on the neck volume control. If you go down to the bridge, now if I pull it out, I get a single coil on this. I think it's this one. I think it's the inside coil. So yeah, it kind of gives you that sound, which is quite cool. Again, doesn't sound exactly like a Tele, doesn't sound like a Strat, just kind of splits them up. Now this one here, if I go into the middle position here and I engage this one down the bottom, this gives you a phase shift. So it gives you this weird in-between bubbly, quacky, honky, weird guitar tone that's famous because of what's his name? Peter Green. Peter Green, he had a Les Paul and one of the pickups stopped working, so he sent it back to the factory and they fixed it, but when it came back it was on back to front or something, so the phase was inside out, and so it sounded like this. So he's saying, what on earth would he use that sound for, that kind of sound for? Well, sounds quite cool in this. So it kind of gives you that kind of tone, which is quite cool. I have no idea if you use one of those, but it kind of gives you this weird honk sound, which is quite cool. Okay, so that's that sound. Now if we go over to this one here, the tone control on the neck pickup, this one gives you a series switch. So if you're using both pickups at the same time and you engage the series, instead of these two pickups being in parallel, they're going to series. And basically for us laymen, what that means is that it makes it louder. Quite a lot louder. So if you're using your single coils, which are usually quieter than humbuckers, then you use the series switch and it boosts it up a lot louder. And because my amp's always dirty, it will kind of always reach the ceiling of the amount of gain versus the volume of the amp. And that's just a good balancing trick to use. To be honest, I really don't use these very much, but occasionally they're a really good feature to have and they can help you approximate different guitar tones. Like for example on Kashmir, which is in Dagad. I'll just quickly tune my guitar. So this one here, if I use the phase switch, it can help you approximate different guitar sounds. So like I was trying to approximate the Dan Electro. I don't have a Dan Electro. I've got guitars for days, and frankly I'm just not allowed any more guitars, so that's that. So that's a really, really cool feature of this guitar. Okay, next thing, treble bleeds. Treble bleed. The treble bleed allows treble to come through when you turn the volume down on your guitar. Because what happens usually if you don't have one of those, as you turn the volume down, the signal gets really muddy and sludgy and just not nice. So you can use treble bleeds to help retain the treble as you change the volume. Okay, so if I actually roll down the volume on both pickups, I'm in the middle here right now, then I can get this really nice, not too distorted, clear tone. You get the point. So the treble bleed makes a huge difference when you want to play dynamically and use these to control how the amp sounds, because the quack, the little quack quack between the two pickups that's the Les Paul's so famous for, is really, really amplified when you have your treble bleed. So two methods, 50s wiring or modern wiring. This guitar has both because we did one and then it wasn't enough, and then we did the other and we couldn't be bothered getting rid of the old one, so it's got both in it. But it's complete spaghetti in the back of this. Complete and utter spaghetti underneath here. Okay. Next thing, the amp. So I've got a Marshall Origin 50 head. I got it on special, super cheap, from the Rock Shop, $800. New, bought it at the end of 2021 when we came out of COVID, because I needed to spend some money. At least that was my excuse. And it's great. It's like it's a cheap version of a Plexi basically, and it gives you the overdrive, nice classic rock overdrive, not too over the top, not metal, not modern at all. But it gives you this really responsive sound. So again, if in terms of controlling the guitar with dynamics, you can use this and it really, really helps give you the sound. So classic rock. Yeah, it's a great sound. It gives you the sound that you want on a much cheaper budget than what you're going to get a Plexi for. Yeah. Okay. So that's the amp, and that's just going for a 2x12 cabinet with a couple of, what are they called? Flippin' Celestion, bloody G75 something or others. 75 watt each. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Yeah, they're fine. They're really well balanced speakers. They've got the brightness that you want. Probably not as classic rock sounding as greenbacks, but hey, whatever. It does a pretty good job of emulating that sound. Okay, and then lastly, effects. I've got it real simple. I'll put a picture up of what I'm using. Wow, self-explanatory. Tuner. I need a tuner. Jimmy Page has got more tunings than they, you know what, okay? And then we've got a tremolo. Basically never use it, but it's a cool pedal to have if you do want it. Really subtle. Super chorus. Don't use that a lot, but it's there. Strymon Mobius, it's a modulation pedal, has heaps of different presets you can use. I'm just using two at the moment. One's a phase 90 sound. And then on this side, I'm using the rotary speaker cabinet emulator. So for things like this, you get the idea. So that gives you the rotary speaker. Then I'm using a Plumes, what's it called? It's called a Plumes by Earthquaker Devices. It does like an overdrive tube screamer thing, but it also does a boost. It does some other stuff. It's really good. I use it in front of the amp just to push it harder. Just gives it a push. Next one I got here is a Majolner clone. Again, really responsive to volume, which is really important. I've got a blues driver. What's it doing? Not a lot. Just pushing a bit harder. DS1. Usually I'd use this if I didn't have an amp with lots of overdrive or distortion. I'd use this to create that sound. Again, it responds to your volume. This filter quite a lot, but that's just the way it works. But it's so responsive to volume. It's great. Yeah, so it's really, really cool. So it's a DS1. It's going to a Boss DD5 digital delay just for a slap. Then I've got a flashback, TC Electronic flashback one. It's got an onboard tap. I'm just using it for long delays at the moment. And also for the old violin bow thing. I'm not going to demonstrate that today. You have to wait for another time. And then it's going to a reverb. It's just got a little light spring reverb. That's the Boss RV6. It's pretty subtle. Doesn't need to do much. And then this is going into an EQ, and I can use it for shaping or for a boost. And that's it. So that's how I create. That's how I've tried to replicate Jimmy Page's guitar tone. And obviously that's really important if you're playing in a Led Zeppelin tribute band. I mean, it's almost like, it's definitely more than 25%, that's for sure, because the songs and the guitar solos are so iconic. We're actually playing particular versions, so we're playing particular live versions for our show, which is on, it's on Saturday, July 1st at Galatos. Tickets are on sale for that now. Head over to Galatos, you can get yourself a early bird ticket, $30. Otherwise it'll be 40. And just trying to create that Jimmy Page vibe as much as possible using not too expensive gear mods basically. And to be honest, I have spent a bit of money on this, but hey, that's okay, because if you're going to do something, you know, you want to do a good job of it. And a lot of it, I guess, it's not so much in this chapter, but a lot of it comes down to how you play, trying to emulate his sort of trying to replicate how he plays is quite hard. Yeah, a lot of people call him sloppy. I don't think he's sloppy. I think it's just the way that he plays. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. Yeah, this is just an overview of the gear mods on this guitar, how it came to be, what it is now, what a huge difference they've made. Like, they're not small differences, they're huge differences. The guitar sounds so much different and it responds so much differently to how it was before. Yeah, it's obviously not a Sunburst 59 Gibson Les Paul, but who the heck can afford one of those? Nobody. That's who can afford one of them. So, yeah, great guitar. Love this guitar, and look forward to seeing you at the show Saturday, 1st of July at Galatos. See you then.